You want me to put that on my todger?
Harry's wife. She doesn't like to be single. That is the pronouncement about Harry's wife. But where does it come from and what does it mean? Well, Dorothy Reddin writes in the Daily Express, expert claims Harry's wife doesn't like being single due to her strong personality. Who is this expert? Where do they get the view that she doesn't like to be single from? According to a prominent astrologer, Harry's wife will bounce back bigger and brighter after leaving her Spotify podcast. Well, if you didn't think that astrology was a load of horse shit, you ought to now with that prediction. The devoted, again, horseshit, Duchess of Sussex upcoming professional intentions have been discussed by psychic Imbal Honigman. Sounds like a made-up name. On behalf of Spin Genie, Ms. Honigman claimed, Harry's wife's astrological chart provides many fascinating insights into her personality and life. She is a heady mix of determination and calm. The retired royal is both fiery and caring and has a great balance of the 4 classical elements: earth, air, fire, and water. Her sun sign is Leo. This makes her a strong and fiery person who stands on her own 2 feet. Leos are confident in themselves and also enjoy helping others find their inner strength. Harry's wife's trademark determination is down to the sun placement. Her moon sign is Libra. The moon points to her feminine qualities, and Libra is about balance, which is why she loves being part of a couple. Libra moons love making decisions jointly with others and weighing up different options. She's a communicative partner who listens as well as talks. She doesn't like being single and would move from one committed relationship to the next. Her ascendant, which is determined by her time and place of birth, and is sometimes referred to as the rising sign, is Cancer. Those with Cancer rising are loving and welcoming and very devoted to their family. Harry's wife's joy in being a mother is thanks to her Cancer ascendant. Well, here's my considered opinion of all of that. Why? But let's go through it. The retired royal is both fiery. Okay, that could be accepted. She will exhibit heated, ignited fury from time to time. And caring. No, she's not. She exhibits false compassion, but there isn't a caring bone in her body because she's a narcissist. She's a strong and fiery person who stands on her own 2 feet. What, you mean in terms of ensuring that her father paid for her through school and got her acting opportunities, or do you mean in the way that she stood on her own 2 feet with regard to her husband who got her acting opportunities? Or what about her chef boyfriend who did the foodie work for her and introduced her to people within Toronto? Or what about her current husband, the Prince of Pink Pancakes, who has basically provided her with a platform that nobody would actually know who she was? Accordingly, to suggest that she is somebody who stands on her own 2 feet is nonsense. To suggest that she enjoys helping others, she doesn't. She only does it for the purpose of facade management, to assert control and draw fuel. Then it also continues by explaining that she loves making decisions jointly with others. That's absolute horseshit. She prefers to do them unilaterally. She knows best. She doesn't want the input from other people. She wants to be the one that always makes the decisions. She's a communicative partner who listens as well as talks. Bollocks. She'll just talk at you and not listen. She doesn't like being single. Well, she got that right, at least, and would move from one committed relationship to the next. Absolutely. Talks about her being loving. No, she's not. Welcoming. No, she's not. Devoted to her family. I wonder what her father and half-siblings have to say about that, and her in-laws. Doesn't look like much devotion going on there. And also, with regard to the children who are probably placed with the nanny far more often than they are with her. We know astrology's a load of bollocks, and it proves it just there. The fact is, why does Harry's wife not like to be single? Well, rather than looking at astrology, it actually comes down to something that originates from her narcissism. She needs to control people, draw fuel, get character traits and residual benefits. In order to obtain that, she needs to draw it from people. Now, she could obtain all of those things relatively equally from lots of different people. But that would require a lot of time and effort. So take, for example, if you were running a business which had a $10 million turnover and you had one client that provided that $10 million worth of turnover, that would just be one CEO or one board that you would have to keep happy. True, if it went wrong, you'd be up shit creek, but you could invest all of your time and effort into looking after that one particular mega client. Alternatively, you could have 20 clients all worth $500,000 each. But then that's 20 CEOs or 20 boards that you need to keep happy. And that takes more time and effort running around after all of them. It's similar for the narcissist. This is why the majority of narcissists have an intimate partner primary source a lot of the time, because that intimate partner primary source is the main provider of fuel, character traits, and residual benefits, and therefore it's only one person that needs to be controlled. Now, of course, there are other people in the fuel matrix. As you will know from my book, Fuel, there are secondary sources, both intimate and non-intimate, tertiary sources, both intimate and non-intimate, but they're not as important. And they can often be controlled by staying in a position of withdrawal from them, shelving them, while still drawing on the fuel provided by the intimate partner primary source. Accordingly, for many narcissists, especially those which are lesser and mid-range, there needs to be an intimate partner primary source in play most of the time, if not all of the time. And that with many narcissists, and those of you that have been involved with a narcissist will have experienced this, there is then the jumping from one intimate partner straight into a relationship with another, a segueing of the relationships. This is to ensure that there is as little disruption as possible to the provision of fuel, character traits, and residual benefits. So the reason why Harry's wife prefers not to be single is because she's driven subconsciously by her narcissism to seek out a primary source, usually intimate, sometimes non-intimate, so that that person acts as a one-stop shop for fuel, character traits, and residual benefits, and thus becomes easier to control. This enables her then to pick Trevor Engelson, and then move on to Corey the chef, and then move on to Prince Harry. So, amongst all of the other nonsense, the astrologist got that right. But what else does she have to tell us? Well, Miss Honeyman commented, Harry's wife's 42nd birthday was on August the 4th, at a time when the planet Venus, which rules love, and the home, happened to be in retrograde. A retrograde is a time when a planet goes against its natural inclination, and during Venus in retrograde, this could be an uneasy time for love. Many people would feel destabilized in love during the month of August because of Venus retrograde, especially Librans and Taurians, like her son Archie, who are ruled by the planet Venus. The Venus retrograde also hits Leo stronger because the planet Venus happens to be in the sign of Leo for the entirety of the retrograde. This means that Leos, like Harry's wife, could experience a few romantic misunderstandings. This uneasy time around love lasts until September the 3rd, 2023. She makes it sound like some kind of cosmic period, doesn't she? But the point is this. Romantic misunderstandings aren't generated by Venus retrograde and so forth. It's all as a consequence of this. Harry is in a sustained devaluation. He's painted black, and other than the occasional respite period that is granted, she's going to cause problems for him. And in the circumstances, what that results in is these romantic misunderstandings where she lashes out at him. But there's more! Miss Honigman opined, Harry's wife's lost deal with Spotify is of no consequence in the greater scheme of things. Due to the actress's Jupiter sign, she will soon replace it with a similar or better deal. The planet Jupiter rules luck and wealth, and in Harry's wife's chart, Jupiter is in balanced Libra. Her finances always balance out. If one income goes, another arrives. So there you are, valuable viewers. When you lose your job and the bailiff is kicking in the door and you've got people saying you need to pay your bills, just say to them, it's okay. Take my Jupiter sign. It's like American Express, but more cosmic, because that will replace the loss of my income with a new one. Utter bollocks. But she doesn't stop yet. No. On Harry's wife's birthday, Jupiter happens to be in Taurus, a sign that loves the finer things in life. Not only does this show that she'll be financially secure, but it also indicates that many of her expenses will be covered by others. So sponsorship deals or an upmarket new talent agency will ensure that she doesn't have to pay for a lot of luxury while living extremely well. Now, there might be some substance in this. A parasite such as Harry's wife, of course, would look for other people to make payment on her behalf. We can expect to see her in commercials and collaborating with large manufacturers. The time of her 2023 birthday isn't without its challenges, but Duchess Harry's wife will bounce back bigger and brighter as she always does. Her astrological chart indicates that her indefatigable spirit burns on, and she won't be kept down. Well, there's an essence of truth in that, because her narcissism will compel her to continue to seek out the prime aims. But what's actually going to have much more influence on her, rather than an astrological chart, is the simple fact that many people have had enough of her, see her as divisive and toxic, and won't want to be involved with her. She doesn't like to be single, but not for the reasons explained by this astrologer, but for much clearer reasons explained by her narcissism. I'm HG Tudor. Thank you for listening.